Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Wild and welcome to my channel, Ashley's Wild Life. This week's video on the Gender Resources playlist is about how you can support someone who comes out and tells you that they're questioning their gender, or who you notice is playing with gender expression in a way that maybe they didn't before. And even that right there, that little bit of speculation, brings me to the first and maybe the most important thing that you can do for someone who's questioning their gender. Don't label it for them. If somebody tells you, I'm questioning my gender, then okay, you can call it questioning gender. But if they don't tell you that, don't call it that. And when it comes to identifying with any certain gender, don't call someone transgender who hasn't self-identified as transgender. Or don't say that someone is non-binary simply because of the way that they're dressing. It's really important that you allow the person who's questioning their gender to name their own experience and to choose their own label, or respect their right to not have to choose a label for their gender if they don't feel like that's important. Another thing you can do is honor their name and their pronouns, even if they change. Even if they change more than one time. Even if they change from day to day or week to week, or however the case may be, honor someone's name as they identify it to you and ask their pronouns, then honor them. Understand that who they are as a person has not changed. If this is your child or your friend or your sibling or even your partner, the core of the person you love is still exactly the same. Recognize that instead of changing, they're growing into their most authentic self, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Don't ask invasive questions about their bodies, about surgeries, about hormones, about whether or not they will transition. Those are very, very personal decisions. And if someone is just beginning to question their gender, they might not even know the answer, which can make your question doubly stressful because now they feel like they have to worry about that, when really they were just beginning to take a look at gender as a whole. You are not entitled to the answers to those invasive and personal questions. Now, if somebody decides to share that information with you, then listen and be present with them. But don't think that just because somebody tells you they're questioning their gender, that you deserve to know every single detail of what that will mean for them as they move through that. If the person in your life wants you to go with them to an event or a group or a meetup, or if they ask you to do therapy with them, please be open to that. Because gender and navigating one's own gender can be really isolating and very scary, and to have someone in your corner is one of the best feelings. Don't limit all your conversations with that person to be about gender, and don't bring up gender all of the time, especially if the other person isn't bringing it up. Remember, this is a person. They have hobbies and interests and friendships and goals and so much more to talk about than gender. So if they're not asking you to engage in a conversation about gender, don't bring it up so often. It can make someone feel like the elephant in the room, like their identity is the only topic of discussion that they're allowed to talk about. And lastly, one huge thing you can do to support someone in your life who might be questioning their gender is when you have questions, find the answer by yourself. Seek out resources. Educate yourself. Become an ally to transgender and non-binary communities. Recognize that it takes so much mental and emotional energy to really critically engage with questions about gender or any other identity for that matter. If someone is really in the thick of questioning, they're probably exhausted. So don't make it their additional responsibility to educate you. Go out and find things, like you somehow found this video. And just remember that the more you can do to educate yourself on the front end, the less stress you'll put onto your loved one while they work through something that is probably difficult. If you're watching this video, I hope it's because you are seeking out resources to support someone in your life that you love. For that reason, I've provided some links below that can be a good jumping off point for you to continue to educate yourself about the experience of being a transgender or non-binary person and about questioning one's own gender in general. I really hope this helps. Thank you for being caring enough to come looking for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.